This video is sponsored by Shop Bismo. It'd be great if you could check out their Shopee page. Link in the description box below.
Alright everyone, welcome to today's charting session. Sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, what we do here is we typically look at either yung mga trending names, and by that I mean yung mga pangalan na maaaring malaki yung ginalaw, whether to the upside or to the downside, or perhaps malaki yung value traded, or generally speaking, mas minamatahan lang po ng mga tao. Also, tumatanggap din po tayo ng mga chart requests. So kung meron po kayong mga requests, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Before we start, I'd just like to note that this is a pre-recorded session. Okay, the reason for that is birthday ng mga anak ko today, no? Yes, pareho silang March 8 yung birthday. So I didn't want to spend my time in front of a screen and recording during their birthday. So I'm pre-recording this para po meron akong charting session na maipresent sa inyo for today. Okay? That being said, let's start off with LTG. Now, itong LTG, patuloy pa rin yung number 1, stuck in a wider range tayo dito. Number 2, patuloy pa rin yung wala siyang pinupuntahan. Diba? Now, some people will see na may parang inverted head and shoulders pattern tayo na nabubuo dito. Okay? Unfortunately, okay, you still have to think kasi in terms of where would price go even if this was a valid pattern. In this particular instance, sabihin natin mabuo to. So, ang pinaka pwedeng puntahan ng price sa liit ng pattern na to, assuming you use pattern targets, is around ito, yung high natin at 10.26 or perhaps even lower, around mga 10.10 more or less na area, no? So, even if mabuo to, we need to be realistic and assess na, okay, pwedeng mauntog tayo dito. Just because there's a potential for reversal, it doesn't mean that the reversal needs to go to the moon, diba? As we've discussed numerous times before. So, based on this, ano yung tinitingnan natin? If mabasag nga itong mga 9.75 na area, then the next resistance level we'll be looking at is around 10.2, 10.26. And if mabasag po natin yon, 10.86 next up to 11.3. However, if sabihin natin from here we roll over and break beneath tong 9 pesos, then highly likely is mangyayari is we test from underneath. If it holds, we push lower and come back to yung support natin at 8.5. And if yun ay mabasag pa rin, 8.10 yung next level of support, followed by this white zone beneath. Okay? So because of all of that, personally, baka hindi pa magandang mag-jump in dito. Of course, as always, kung pasok po ito sa parameters nyo, meron siyang signal sa system na ginagamit nyo, then by all means, no, go ahead. Huwag nyo ako pakinggan. But for me, I would rather take a wait and see approach muna dito sa LTG to see what develop next before I consider whether or not it's something that I want to jump into, irregardless na may nabubuo nga dito na parang inverted head and shoulders na maliit na pattern. Now, itong IMI, tandaan nyo dati, we were saying na sana kapag pumunta siya dito sa red zone, makahanap tayo ng bullish price action and then it reacts from there and we can push higher. Hindi po yun nangyari, no? Ito yung mga instances na hindi talaga nagkakaroon na reaction kahit na may expectation tayo at a certain level. In fact, we just broke straight through, came back down, tested support around dito sa 8 pesos, more or less na area, came back up, tagged the same red zone here, and then rolled over. Now, from that, ang expectation natin is baka balikan na naman yung support around 8.05. If itong 8 pesos, more or less na area na support holds, then we can ascertain from that na baka babalik lang muna tayo sa range na to. Diba? After all, nag-range tayo dito, overshoot, range ulit dyan. Pwede natin sabihin na parang nag-overshoot na naman to, came back, range na naman tayo dito. And that's a pretty wide range then, from 8.05 all the way hanggang 9.28 sa high end ng range, no? So, yun yung isa sa mga tinitingnan kong pwede na developments ngayon sa IMI. Okay? Kung nakabili po kayo dito sa support, bumili kayo dito sa low end ng range, then Obviously, you're hoping na mag-hold yan, or perhaps nagbenta na kayo na nag-swing up tayo ng konti. I don't know, no? I've mentioned before na I'm not exactly a tight range trader. So, sa system ko, wala akong naging trigger to get in dito sa IMI. Now, if you're bullish IMI, what you want to see is ma-reclaim tong red area na to sooner rather than later. Na makabalik tayo above itong 9.3, and if so, it opens up this range above to us. Diba? So, from 9.28, next na pwede nating pag-untugan is 10 pesos, followed by 10.94. However, kung bumigay yung 8.05, then we might come back to yung support natin at 7.3. And kung yun bumigay pa, perhaps come back and revisit tong mga lows na nag-form before. Okay? However, I do need to note na kung binalikan natin tong 7.3 and mag-hold yan and we push higher, magwa-widen lalo yung range na tinitingnan natin. Okay? Just because wide yung range, it doesn't mean that price has to trade from the bottom to the top of that range. Diba? It doesn't mean that. It just means my range. Where price goes within that range is still beyond our control. After a few attempts on trying to push lower, diba, from these candles here, okay, we have pushed back up and binalikan natin yung resistance na minark out natin from before at 15.46. So, nag-hold yun so far, no? So, if you're bullish GMA, what you want to see is for price to finally break above and hold itong 15.46 to 15.5 na area. Okay? And if we can do so, then that opens up this range above na mabalikan natin eventually tong 16.66. How fast or how slow price gets there, syempre, is beyond our control, no? It remains to be seen. However, it opens up the possibility na mabalikan yon. However, kung mag-hold tong 15.5 na area na to and we roll over, okay, i-break natin to kasi 'di ba napapansin nyo if we zoom in, maraming wicks, meaning it's trying to hold, buyers are stepping in, 'di ba? If sabihin natin mabasag tong 14.88 altogether, okay, then baka ang mangyari is mabalikan natin tong mga lows na nag-form previously. Kung mabalikan natin yung mga lows na yan na nag-form previously, ano yung pinakamasasabi natin? Na bumalik na tayo within this range here. After all, we haven't even broken above it. We are still there. It looks like it's gonna break out. I think it's gonna break out. But, syempre, what I think and what the market does are two completely different things, no? Di naman talaga kailangan sumunod sa atin ng merkado. So, if nag-break tayo beneath nitong 14.88 ulit, it wouldn't surprise me if we come back and revisit tong bottom end ng range natin. Okay? If mabasag to, then itong extreme low na yung possible na mabalikan at 12.62. And if 12.62 breaks, the next level of support is at 11.12. Although I know na merong area of consolidation previously here. Hindi ko lang siya minark out kasi nandito na tayo. Medyo malayo pa naman. No need to clutter my chart with all of those details, no? But if we do pull back, then that comes back and we'll rediscuss it then. Now, do I think na mag-break tayo dito? I do. I honestly do. I think na tutulak to. But again, you need to understand from a risk-reward perspective na kung hahabol pa lang kayo, where would your stop go? Sabihin natin you put it beneath tong swing low na to at around 13.7, no? Ngayon, sabihin natin from 15.46, target nyo is 16.6 next. Okay? So, that's about 1 peso and sabihin natin 2 pesos and 20 cents, no? More or less. 1 peso and 20 cents more or less para maabot yan. Pero yung stop nyo ang layo. So, you need to consider pa rin yung risk-reward perspective. Okay? Again, don't just focus on the potential upside. You need to understand where your risk is, and once you understand nasaan yung risk nyo, dun nyo i-assess worth it ba i-take yung trade. Kasi yun yung nasa control natin eh. Where we mark out our level of risk is where we have control. Where price goes, wala tayong control doon. Execute lang tayo lagi ng mga plano. Okay? Kasi sabihin natin, sige, confident daw na mababreak tong 15.5. Can I assure you na mababasag tong 16.6? Of course not. No one can. Possible na bumalik lang tayo within this wider range, just maglaro mo na dyan yung price. Again, we don't know. Okay, so Kung pasok to sa system nyo, then by all means, go ahead. If not, exercise patience as always. Kung nakapasok na kayo dito sa GMA, nakabili na kayo before, then just make sure to trail your stops accordingly para kung sakali man na mangyari yung ayaw natin mangyari, hindi po natin ibabalik yung karamihan ng kinita natin sa merkado. Let's take a quick look at MAC, no? Now, after nitong strong green candle na to, it was quickly followed by a strong red candle, diba? Yung the whole Ukraine thing, binawi yung move. Then, for the next 5 candles here, trinay natin na i-retake, okay, etong 6 peso level that we broke out from. And we briefly did, pero binawi din agad dito sa pula na to, diba? And then after that, etong candle na to, anong nangyari? Kinain na naman pababa yung move. Now, buyers did step in, kaya may wick tayo sa ilalim. However, regardless of how bullish you are sa MAC, you probably will concede na this was a very bearish candle. Meaning, kung sakali man na mag-continue yung push to the upside, hindi po yan mangyayari in just one candle, most likely. Diba? It will take time to try and undo yung damage done by this particular candle here. Okay? So from here, ano yung mga possible scenarios na we can expect? If mabasag tong 5.35, then it's gonna look a lot more bearish than it is now. Na, to be fair, hindi na nga very bullish tignan to begin with. And baka bumalik yung price sa range na to. So that's from 4.94 hanggang 5.35, no? However, kung mabasag to, mabawi natin agad. We close above 6 and we start holding above itong 6 finally. Then I think that opens up this entire range above, but i-acknowledge natin na may resistance na nag-form at 6.25. Okay? If mabawi natin yung 6, I think this will just act as minor resistance along the way. We can break that and then yun nga, mag-open up tong range na to all the way hanggang 6.6. Alright? Kung mabasag pa yung 6.6, edi syempre new 52-week high, then good for everyone, no? Bagong price exploration na naman to the upside. So hopefully, yun yung mangyari sa MAC. Dahil syempre, ang gulo rin ang lalaki ng mga candles na nangyayari Honestly, it's not looking the best, pero because of the wide-ranging candles, everything is still up for grabs. But if you're asking me if it's looking bullish, then no. Okay? It's not looking quite so bullish right now. But hopefully, mabawi sooner rather than later. And again, we can close above 6 and we can start holding above that level. And then finally, tignan po natin yung ICT, no? So, itong ICT, it continues to ground up. Diba? It continues to grind higher. Patuloy lang. And honestly, ako personally, di ko ito nasakyan. No? Nahihirapan ako sakyan yung ganito. Madaling sabihin in hindsight once the structure has formed, dapat nung nag-breakout tayo, kunwari dito, nung nag-pullback tayo to this area, bumili na. But ang shallow ng pullbacks, I was hoping for a proper, quote-unquote, na pullback, which I never got dito sa ICT, no? And again, the reason for that, as always, is, syempre, naghahanap tayo ng risk-reward na mas attractive. As is, hindi siya naging attractive para sa akin, Okay? So ngayon, nagprint na naman tayo ng new high. So resistance is now at 236.6. And we're continuing to hold above tong 224 na level, which was previous resistance here. Okay? So again, kung may hawak kayo nitong ICT, then keep holding. Make sure lang na i-trail nyo yung stops nyo accordingly. Huwag po natin ibalik sa merkado, karamihan ng kinita natin. Kung wala pa, again, this is just me. Okay? This is just me. Personally, sa mga ganitong type of situations, nahihirapan talaga ako na maghanap ng maganda pang entry. Kasi walang magandang retracement. Pinakamagandang retracement natin was when price came back here, diba? Near to that level, pero bumitin ng konti So again, in hindsight, madaling sabihin na dapat nung na ganito, binili ko na, but, okay, we never knew Okay, we never knew. So, ngayon, personally, kung ako tatanungin, maganda, konting patience muna. Again, it's grinding up and minsan, nandyan yung FOMO na parang, hindi, gusto ko sumakay, tataas pa to. Pero, based on how you trade, just be sure to assess yung risk-reward nyo ng mabuti para hindi kayo mapasok sa sitwasyon na hindi kayo matutuwa. Alright? Now, from here, what don't I want to see? Yung bullish din natin kailangan pag-usapan, it just keeps grinding higher. What I don't want to see is for price to come back, take out tong 205.8, test it from underneath, then collapse. Pagka ganon, then for me, malamang babalik lang tayo sa mga range na to. Whether here, segmented to here, or as a wider range, remains to be seen, no? So yun yung bearish scenario na ayaw kong makita dito sa ICT. Okay, but again, so far, ICT has continued to defy the odds. Talagang patuloy lang, no? We just keep grinding higher. So, congratulations sa mga holders. Okay, I wish you nothing but the best. Sana patuloy pa po siyang umangat para sa inyong lahat. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!